What was I going to say? My answer, the answer for my Dumb Shitoto quest / achievement /
Just one moment.
thing.
Let me do this then. So I had one game, you had 2 games. You were player 2. Okay.
All right, would you like the answer?
Well, let me think about it, because I have had
okay.
basically 0 time to think about it.
Yes, that's fair. You were playing as Renea. You have other things to think about, like
Yes.
the order of your discard pile.
Yes. My goodness. Customs.
I like Renea a lot. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I'm doing better with Renea than not Renea? Like, we don't think Renea is the best character in the set, right? We think it's Sumina.
I mean, I think Umina is better than Renea, but you might well disagree with me. All right.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think in the real world, Renea is definitely a better character.
Fair.
But that's because in the real world, like...
Stats are good.
Well,
+2 speed forever is incredibly good.
Old ley lines is pretty good. Parry reading is pretty good. And, like, how many people in the world know how to order their discard pile correctly versus Renea?
Okay, so let me clarify
3.
the challenge, right? Strike the face-up normal special from your discard pile. As of setting that attack, you must be at range 1. That's the requirement?
Yes, and you have to win the game that beat.
Right. Okay. That is different from, as of playing triple cast, you are at range 1.
Correct. That's way too easy.
Okay. Alright. So then... Mana Wall from discard... can do it, but you have to guarantee the opponent's effects. So if I can't play reading as the second effect, then it is much more difficult to make this happen.
I mean, okay, so you found a situation where it can happen, because you can say the opponent has 0 cards in hand, 1 card in their deck, and you know it's the card you need to play.
Right, like given certain game states.
Yeah, can you do it, like, the answer is a given certain game states, obviously.
Okay.
But, I'm trying to figure out how to word it that excludes this, but not my actual solution. It's very difficult to word something correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a cool solution. It uses the mana wall change.
Right, like that's a solution that might be viable at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think the actual solution is cooler than this, but about as complicated, like, about as unlikely to actually happen.
All right, what do you have in mind?
Triple cast Addle X Spike. They deck themselves because they can't wild swing.
Oh, decking. Okay.
Yeah. That was the.
Except Addle doesn't do anything. You ignore.
Oh no,
Addle,
I'm crazy. I know. I was thinking of Intimidate for some reason.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
So
you found a better solution.
You
nice.
just play Spike when they have no cards left. Yes, that is viable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I was thinking of the Addle decking kill, but that doesn't actually happen with this character. That only happens with Intimidate.
Yeah, that's just like saying that. Well, I probably shouldn't use. There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I mean, like, I pulled Rimless and I should have pulled. Yeah, but it's just like saying the opponent only has cross, so you play Spike and they play cross. So given a certain,
yeah, I like yours.
I think they,
Comfort.
yeah, I think they're comparable.
Well, if mine worked, which it doesn't. Like,
well, it works. You just don't need Addle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm still worried about Transpose, honestly, but I think it's... Like, I like the gameplay with it, I'm just worried it's too much of a power spike, but I think the reasonable argument is you're playing Exceed, you are going to see 2 copies of that card per game. Like, you're usually not going to die so fast you can't play a Transpose. I'm
Sorry.
not sure. Do you have thoughts on that?
I got distracted by a ping on Discord.
No problem. Should I repeat or?
You said transpose, which is this thing, and then what was your concern about it?
I'm worried it's too strong / too much. Like, it's too big of a power spike when you have it versus not. But possibly the answer is you're playing Exceed. You should be able to survive long enough to see your decks. So you should see at least 2 transposes a game.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Like, the reason power budget as a concept works for Exceed design and balancing is that the game does take long enough that you go through your deck. Like, the reason that people have concerns about Taisei and Galdred is because they both have things that make them not necessarily go through the deck fast enough to survive. Although, high-level play has proven that Galdred can totally survive just fine. And I personally think Taisei
Galdred is pretty high variance from what I've seen. But
right, he is. He also has held his own in Gen Con, which is considered...
Yes, but...
yeah.
Okay, so... If someone winning Gen Con with a high variance character is evidence in favor of the character being very high variance, not against. Would be my claim.
I'm not sure I agree with the claim. I see where you're coming from in the sense that it doesn't... It's poor evidence to the contrary. I'm not sure it's very good evidence for. But what I mean is people have generally
evidencing things. But
fair.
Yeah.
I think what I mean is people have generally said that it is a weakness of him as a character that he is inconsistent. And so my counterpoint to that is that he performed well at Worlds. He took out Mei Lian. He was champion of the second place team. He didn't actually win. But
my claim is that I think Galdred's is high variance in both senses, and yes, him doing well at Gen Con is somewhat reasonable, at least evidence that he's not bad enough that you'll lose to bad players when you draw badly, but it's very hard to have a character be that bad in Exceed.
True.
Like, they all have Dormos in their deck.
Yep. I mean, people talk about Gabrick being terrible, and I beat Uramina with him. And I did better against Uranea than I did with Rimalis.
Yes. Though, not sure if actually better.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify that, because Rimalis is like...
I would say that the number of things that had to go right for you to win the Remless game was smaller.
I agree with that. I needed 2 hits. They just had to be the right hits.
Or you needed to actually get the Toxic Tendrils strength.
I needed that so much sooner than I got it.
Yeah. And I mean, once you were digging desperately, I was like, he's digging desperately. What card does Remless always dig desperately for? Where's my parody? Boop.
I mean, normally I'll just reclaim it, but I spent a reclamation on something else. And in retrospect,
you did reclaim it.
Right, at once.
I believe.
Right. Normally, I say both reclamations for it, or for whatever I consider to be key. Sometimes Radiate's more important, but not usually.
That's fair.
I feel like I should have reclaimed it twice, but I didn't. So I think that's the mistake.
Yeah, the Exceed was very scary there. I think. Also, it's a weird way to look at it, but one of the things that decided that game was that I decided to have my period of playing well when you exceeded, and I needed to play well.